Hey, Greg. First of all, can we get your thoughts on that last few seconds there? Ricky out, ball into Miguel Berry there.
Yeah, I thought we were, well, we could talk about the whole game later, I guess. But in the last few seconds, we were all over them. We, especially on the right side, we just had numbers over there, and we were constantly, working to get behind him, to get crossing situations, to try to get some numbers in the box. At about 3 or 4 minutes before, I told Maya to try to get in the box if we had sustained possession, see if we could get another big body in the box, and Eddie to just stay and cover him. So those guys on the right side were just kind of working together to see if they could get something that looked like a reasonable look across. And as the ball came back, I thought we had a chance to cross it a little bit earlier. I'm glad we didn't. And then when it came back to Ricky, he didn't even have a great look. He just kind of hooked it around the back of the line. And whenever you do that, it's just about who can get there first. And Maya was on the backside of Miguel, which means that the center backs are all occupied, and so then it was just Miguel was able to get a step and a long leg in front of his man, and as the keeper came, it was kind of one of those balls. It's a tweener. It's a tough one to read, and Miguel was the first one to get a touch on it, and just kind of found its way into the back of the net. So, but I felt like the guys were working hard for it. Scoring a goal was not easy for us tonight. It was not our night when it came to that side of things. The amount of chances that we had over the course of the game and was pretty significant, I felt like, and we just weren't able to execute at the right speed or put the ball in the right spot. But we're able to stick with it and get something out of it.
And then that leads to the next, about the game itself. The first 15, 20 minutes, if you put 2 away, whatever, but then you look at the scoreboard at halftime, You're down 2-0, and then you got to fight and scrap for something.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It was an interesting game because I thought, our start was outstanding. I thought the first 20 minutes or so, I don't know exactly what time they scored, but I thought we were excellent. I thought the ball was moving, we were getting into good spots, we were getting behind them, we were getting into what looked like good finishing chances. We had a couple of chances, like you said, maybe 2 or 3. Maybe more if you consider like half chances, and we couldn't get it, but you felt the momentum was definitely in our favor. And then, we get kind of a counterattack sucker punch on the other side where Maya's one-on-one at the backside, and this is Arango. He's powerful. He gets up in the air. He got up first, and he got over the top of him, and he, one chance, one goal. Bang, thanks for coming. You're down 1-0 after such a great start. And, and then I think as we go through the next part, this is the thing that I think our team is still learning and maturing and growing up together, which is bad things can happen to you in the game, and you got to stick with the plan, and you got to stick with the program, and you got to trust each other and trust the process that you've been in, because it was working for us at the beginning, but then we get a little bit all over. We start to try to force things to get ourselves back in it, and then we start turning over balls. We start exposing things ourselves in transition. We start rotating into random spots, and that's what leads to some of our vulnerabilities in transition. And then we expend a lot of energy trying to just deal with certain situations, and it became, for maybe the last 10 or 15 minutes of the first half, it just became like a lot chaotic and just kind of random. And my message at the group was like at halftime was like, it's kind of counterintuitive because you're down 2-0, but it's like slow down and just get back to doing the right things, get to the right spots, let the ball move. 45 minutes is a long time, and in the first 45 minutes, we probably had 4 or 5 good chances. So if we continue to execute on the right way, we can get the chances we need to get ourselves back into this game. And defensively, we were so stretched out in the first half too, where we were trying to chase some of our set presses, and the distance between front and back was so big, and wanted us to stay together a little bit more, maybe to find at times when we could get more man-to-man in the set press. We were able to win some balls, and I think we were able to build a little momentum in the second half to get the first goal with Gabe, got us back into things. And we stuck with it, and we were able to get the second one down at the end. But I think it's part of the growth and maturity of our group to, again, stick together, stick with the plan, don't try to force things. Trust over 90 minutes that what we do is going to really be successful. It could have been tonight. On a better night with better execution, we could have won this game on a bigger number, in my opinion. They are a good team, and they have some really good players, but I think with the amount of chances that we created, especially through the early portions of the game, this could have been a really different feeling game.
Hey, Greg, thanks for your time. Dejan came back from injury today. What did you see from him in his return?
Yeah, it was nice to get him back. I mean, he was in some good spots. He linked us up pretty good. He was moving pretty well. It didn't seem like he was quite as sharp as he will continue to get after being away for 2 weeks and not having a ton of like finishing and final action stuff this week because we don't want to overload him too much, and we know we're going into a busy week, so he just didn't have a lot. But I thought his actions, his movements, things like that, were good. I also felt like just from a physical standpoint, it was going to be a heavy load. Being kind of not really training for probably 8 of those 12 days. And then, putting out a shift in a night like tonight, it's going to be a physical challenge. But it's nice to have him back. I think, again, as he integrates and continues to get sharp, he's going to help us a lot.
The team is still unbeaten at home, but you found yourselves in a hole early today. Do you feel like it was 2 points gained because you were able to rescue something, or do you feel like it's 2 points dropped because you gave away some opportunities in the first half? Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate. Again, games can have different feelings at the start to the finish. Like there's a lot of ebbs and flows in this one, and early on I felt like, man, we're really playing well. The ball's really moving nice. We're creating things. We're organized underneath our possessions. We're recovering balls back, and I felt like, can we really sustain this for the larger part of the game? Because if we can, then we've turned over I think a major stone in our development, and we were unable to get that thing that kind of rewards you, which is the goal from a lot of good play early on. That's important. And then, the thing that I think we still need to, as I said before, we still need to be able to manage adversity a little bit cleaner with our group. And that's so at the beginning I thought, wow, we have a real chance to not just score one, but to score multiple. We really found our ways through them and to dangerous spots. But then as the game progresses and you start to get disjointed and now you find yourself down 2, it becomes a different challenge. Now it's to battle yourself back into the game and to remain unbeaten and to, just a 1 goal at a time to get yourself back into things. So at the end, I'm pleased. I mean, it was the last play of the game, so I'm pleased that we took a point, and not to be too greedy, but I think the game earlier on, as I said before, if we execute, I think there's more in this game for us. I was pleased with our start, though. I got to be honest. Like at home, I have felt like we've started really well over the course of the season. In games earlier, we've been able to get goals early on, and which has set a good tone for us. But tonight, we just weren't able to finish.
Greg, a couple of questions. First of all, you came back from a 2-goal deficit today. You've done that a couple times this season, and it seems to me like that sort of fight might not have been in some past teams. And I'm wondering if you see the character of the team developing, especially with, you outshot them like 21-10 or something, and 21-12. You had 10 corners. But you just never quit against a really great defensive team. And I wonder if you could speak about the character, and then in addition, the paint seal situation. What's going on with Joseph?
Yeah, we'll start with the resiliency and the fight in the group. I think this group has shown that this year. I think, look, last year there were so many things going on that I don't even kind of refer to that, but I think this group has shown that they believe they can score. They believe that they can get back into a game. It's just a matter about how we go about doing that, right? And that, to me, is really kind of the discussion tonight. Like when we try to force ourselves back into a game, we actually become more vulnerable. When we just play in the moment and we play the game, we actually are good enough to create those chances and to bring ourselves into the game. So it's just, again, trusting kind of the process. And when all the guys are out there, I feel like the game flows nicely, and different guys are set up for chances through different parts of the game. It's not like just one guy, So different guys had chances, and different guys had a chance to step up tonight. And in the end, it ended up being Gabe off a great ball from Ricky, and it ends up being Miguel from a great ball from Ricky, So different guys stepped up tonight. But I think the group just believes what they're capable of. I think it's just a matter of like us emotionally managing those moments through the course of the game where there's a little bit of adversity and sticking to the program and trusting ourselves over the long haul. As far as Joe, yeah, I just spoke to him in there. He was just really disappointed. He was disappointed that he let some chances fall, and that he felt a bit like he let the group down because he had some chances, and I respect that. I've said this about Joe since the day he arrives. Whether it's training or it's a game, he holds himself to a really high standard and expectation. So of course, when a guy feels like he didn't put away the chances he has, and then he's taken off, that's the end of his chances to get it. So I'm sure he's disappointed that I took him off in a game where he was having a hard time finishing chances, because that puts the cap on it. But at the end of the day, as I said to him, like, it just, for whatever reason, you've really helped us through this season, and tonight just wasn't your night. And so it just became like, if we put Diego on or somebody else, maybe it's their night tonight. And he's done a lot to help us, really carry us through this early part of the season. Tonight, somebody else had to step up, and that's just the way it was. So he's fine. He'll be okay. I told him, you want to be a great goal scorer in this league, you just got to forget shit and let it go and move on to the next one. And that's what I want him to do. I want him to not worry about tonight and just move to the next one. And he's such an important part of this team. The next one he's going to get.
All right. Thanks for your time,
All
Greg.
right, thank you.